And we're back again. 3 count. Juan, Benny, and myself. This will be a longer one because of the fact this is going to be our thoughts on what's going on. We got a couple conversations, topics we're going to go over, which is something I found out about the Revival and their contracts when it expires. Vince and Petty again about it. Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Where are they? Are they leaving? Are they staying? What's going on with them? Mike Bennett's tweet, Seth Rollins' tweet, and then also Undertaker's return. He made a return Monday night. So we're gonna go over a couple of those. Let's start off with Undertaker's return. It's like out of nowhere. I mean, he comes back to save a man that beat him and supposedly fired him at Mania. Is the WWE getting desperate for ratings now? Like
Getting would imply that it's on a downturn. They basically took the great storyline from AEW with Dustin and Cody, sprinkled Vince's, good shit on it, and that's what you got.
I mean, it's like they're changing everything to do with everything they can. Like, remember the third hour was the dark hour? They got rid of that.
It's
the
gone.
Part was something that's gone now. Because I
What's
mean,
that?
everybody's on the show. It's more than 3 people, 4 people now. Everybody's on the show. Like, I remember when the McMahon came out, no rematches, will be hands off. That last 3 weeks maybe.
Not even.
Pay-per-view, pretty much. Because now we've had 4 pay-per-views with rematches.
Yep.
Okay. We have McMahon getting involved and creating his storyline. He's getting a push. Like, oh man, and the ratings are just going down and down and down. I mean, it's
because no one wants to see Shane McMahon.
Yeah,
no one.
I think it's gone below 2 now, right?
Yeah.
It went below 2 apparently this past week. I don't know about SmackDown, but I know Raw was actually on the upswing from the week before, but it's only about like 40,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, the Undertaker return was like, it was interesting. Like I said in the last one, from what I heard was he wanted to come back because he was so disappointed in the last match of the Saudi show. He didn't want to leave that sour taste in his mouth or the fans' mouth, so he wanted another match to improve on it. And being in a tag match, he's protected. He's protected in his old age. So, I mean,
I could respect that. I can respect that, but at this point, Undertaker for me is on my Mount Rushmore as far as professional wrestling goes. I don't want to see him continuing to put himself in a position to have his legacy get tarnished.
He's going to end up being the Ali of wrestling at a certain point.
I was going to say this seems like Kobe's last 2 seasons for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like post Achilles rupture. Like that's what this feels like to me.
Yeah, this is Ali, Larry Holmes. It's just let the man go, man. Let the man go.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if we're going to compare it to Kobe's last his last 2 seasons, if this is indeed going to be the end of the Undertaker, and as you were saying before, him basically wanting to go with Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania, if in fact that is something, then I hope to God that the Undertaker goes out there and puts himself in a physical condition, whereas he can actually give you a final performance a la Kobe's 60-point game to end his career.
Yeah.
But see, here's the concern I have though: is like how fully healed is he from the hip surgery?
Because he's come out and said he's 100%, but I don't see it.
Because the thing is, he had his hip surgery, he did his rehab, and then 6 months later, he was back on TV or on the show.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be done after the hip surgery.
Yeah. Here's another one. Where's Big Show?
Big Show said he's done. Big Show said he's done. Big Show's a producer now.
Yeah, he's doing promotional work for the company.
Yeah, like Big Show said he's done, so he's done. Like that's the blueprint you gotta go by. If he said he's done, let him be done.
Yeah,
Let
and
him be done,
that
bro.
that kind of goes to another thing when it comes to Big Show. Big Show was trying to put himself into a position to have that match with Shaq that they were always trying to do, but Shaq was always, like he basically reneged on the thing like 100 times.
Yeah,
So Big Show just pretty much got fed up with it.
yeah, cause that's the last match he wanted, and he had no problem putting Shaq over either. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he put Mayweather over,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know. So that's I don't know, man. It just need to let Undertaker go, let him be with his family, raise his kids, be
Yep.
with his
I
lovely
mean,
wife.
I think that Saudi money, and I'm thinking it had to be somewhere between like if John Cena's making 10 million annually, or he was making 10 million annually, and he was the top guy in the company. For Undertaker to come back, they had to be offering him 15 to 20. Like him and Brock had to be offered like significant portions of that Saudi money to come back.
Yeah,
Same
but
thing with Goldberg. Like,
that's just for the Saudi shows, though, man.
yeah,
That's
but I
not
mean,
the
like,
league.
it could have been over like a couple, like okay, well, if you come back and I want to do this, it's like, okay, so we'll give you 4 million for like 2 or 3 shows. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
still making significant portions, and it's as a as with the business that he's in and the fact that he has so many medical bills and etc. And no one knows what he's doing for actual income. Getting an extra 4 million could be big for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the money definitely does motivate, but at some point, it's like, listen, you're a convention guy now. Like, let us meet Paul behind the Undertaker,
Yeah.
and let that be your legacy.
The convention guy, as long as it's not Starcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right. Whatever. Like, have him show up on my thing is like if you're gonna use him in such a way, I'd have him show up to NXT. I'd have him show up to Evolve. Like if I'm gonna pay him to make appearances, make it so that okay, I can get eyes on my other products and my other things. Let him have a situation where he comes back as American Badass Undertaker, where he can walk around the back and actually talk to people and not just be the dead man where he's all, eerie and mysterious. Because
Mhm.
I'd rather see that conversation and I'd rather see him come back as that character than what he is now. And he's just dropping random, and it's like you don't see him interacting with the young talent the way you would want to,
No, I don't
Yeah,
if
think
that
he
makes
and
sense.
the other thing about that is with Undertaker, you can technically do whatever you want with him as far as his character goes. Um, if you think if what was it? Right around the time, which WrestleMania was that? I think that was 31, where Sting and Triple H, the
Mm-hmm.
one out in San Francisco.
Mhm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you remember, you had the situation where DX and the NWO went, face to face. Right at that point, if you remember who was part of DX, you had the New Age Outlaws and you had X Pac.
Mm-hmm.
However, later on in the year, the NWO showed up on Raw. Guess who was a part of the NWO? X Pac. Out
X-Pac.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere. That's because of the fact that you don't have to keep up continuity with guys like that. You can do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with the Undertaker. The Undertaker doesn't have to always show up as the dead man. That's just what he's showing up as right now. If you
Mm-hmm.
wanted him to show up as the American Badass, there's no continuity you have to keep with that. So let him do it. Like it's
Like,
just
I would be so much more invested in this Baron Corbin storyline if you had Undertaker show up as the American Badass and have a conversation with him where it's like, all right, this is what you are now.
mm,
Didn't you used to be one of us? Like, have like the jacket and everything. I thought you used to be a badass. Now
mm-hmm.
you're this. And then you have Baron Corbin go, and then you can use that to flip Baron Corbin back to that biker style that
Mm-hmm.
he was in. And I think personally, if he flips back to just what he was before, without like the clean cut suits, even though now there's a reason behind it, and it's just Vince thinking that he knows women,
Mm-hmm.
and he's keeping Baron Corbin's look the way he is because apparently he thinks that that makes him more marketable to women, especially older ladies.
Wait, hold. You have to say it right. He thinks that it makes women swoon.
I mean, what do you expect from the guy that called himself a genetic jackhammer for years?
Like, that's just like, how out of touch do you gotta be? Like, I understand that, but if you're gonna use that logic, like, all of your male wrestlers are attractive to some demographic that watches of women. Like, they're all attractive to someone. And if you're gonna use that as a logic, like, why is Baron Corbin never shirtless? Because that's what you want to sell. Why is he only in like tight, like fitted work? Like, he looks like a waiter.
Yep.
He looks like a waiter when he used to be a former lineman. So if you're gonna do that, then go with the whole like 1990s biker boy badass thing that you're gonna like that crowd is gonna remember. Like, don't go with this wannabe Rico Suave. Like, he looks like the white guy amongst like Spanish friends. Like, he's the guy that's trying to be Rico Suave, and it's like, pero no, que no. And he's like, oh yeah, what up, my gringo? Like, he's that guy that's like, hola, como estás, homie? Like, he's that dude right now. Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing?
But here's that. You remember, like, Baron Corbin is one of their own guys. Like, he literally came to NXT.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he didn't come to anywhere else. So it's like, they will do whatever they can for him because he's one of their guys.
True. But again, if you're going to do him the best service, then you put him on the... Like, if you're going to do that, then you put him in the best situation possible. And him having the hardcore heavy metal entrance music dressed like a waiter at, like, Pontero's or at, like, Morton's, how are you doing him any justice? Like, his Instagram, his social media is way more him and way more entertaining than anything he does on right. Like, I follow him on Twitter and he's hilarious. You see his videos on Instagram. This dude is mad. He's got crazy swag. He's got a refinement about him. And then you look at how he was on Talking Smack. He's great on the mic. But when you handicap him to this image that you want him to have, you hinder him as a wrestler and as a character and as a sex icon as you're trying to make him. Like, you're handicapping him, and it's like you're shooting your. It's like you have a 12 gauge shotgun that you can kill with, and you're shooting yourself off toe by toe. Like, what are you doing, bro? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
It's them having. Well, not. Why am I saying them? It's Vince having control of everything. Everything having to go through him. And again, like you keep saying, the show be written for the audience of one. So whatever he feels is best for the company or gets more giggles out of him will happen. If it's Baron Corbin dressed up as a waiter with a Rock entrance, that's what it's going to be. I mean, look at EC3. EC3 has a better look for a female audience than Baron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a shirtless guy. The guy's like pretty much got muscle. He's got
like 2% body fat.
Yeah. So I mean, he's better suited for women than Baron Corbin. To be honest. But again, there's the issue of pettiness with Vince, and nobody can figure out why he's not getting a push, which I believe the reason is all there. A little deep in him. He's a TNA guy. He's always been a TNA guy. You know? But TNA guy has come in because and got a push. Samoa Joe's been a joke. He's been a joke. He's been there for no reason.
Yeah. And that's the thing I don't understand is that the fact that Vince called him up because Vince liked his look. Like, it doesn't. He didn't do anything to rock the boat. He didn't. There's nothing that happened that would make it so that he should be put in the doghouse outside of what? Like, nothing happened. Like, he he showed up and then magically he was on main event and then he was a jobber.
Yeah.
And it's what?
Apparently it goes back to what happened with Dean, that when he wrestled Dean, then they were trying to...
Exactly.
Wait, what happened when he wrestled Dean? Because I keep hearing about this. Like, what did he do wrong?
All right,
He didn't
basically
anything wrong. He got booed during the match. But they were booing. They weren't booing EC3. They were booing the fact that the match was a squash match to bury Dean, because they were trying to bury Dean, and the fans were upset about it. But Vince took it as the fans pretty much, supposedly the fans not accepting EC3. But the fans actually just booing the idea of Dean getting buried.
what happened was
literally the stupidest shit I've ever heard about.
Right before that went down, you remember WWE put the tweet out about Ambrose leaving. So they basically did that, and the first thing they did was they went out there and they put EC3 out there like he was going. They made it seem like he was going to put EC3 over on the way out, but instead of just having it like a one-off or something like that, they sat up there and put him into a bunch of matches, a bunch of squash matches on house shows, and he was just like, I'm out there doing everything I possibly can to get booed. I'm up here doing all kinds. I'm flipping off the crowd. I'm up here, just doing all kinds of heelish stuff. But everybody in the fans, everybody knows this is what's going on. You know they're trying to bury him on the way out the door, and they weren't having it. So Vince took it like, oh well, you're just not over. So it is what it is.
See, my whole thing is God, you can't use new wrestlers to bury fan favorites. Like that's common sense. Like I feel like that's wrestling booking 101. Like you're not gonna bury someone like Dean Ambrose that got a organic pop when he finally won the WWE title. Basically put SmackDown on his back for the brand split to happen, put AJ Styles over, and has been one of the more loved characters outside of the whole him turning on Seth when the Roman thing happened. And the only reason why he got booed was because it was the Roman thing, because everybody wanted Dean to turn on Seth anyway. Because truth be told, as much as people like Seth, once he turned on the Shield the way he did, he's never gonna get the love as organically as he would have if they would have just waited for that. And Seth's always going to be the guy that's waiting to turn heel. Like everyone's begging for him to turn heel now because it's like, all right, you had your redemption story. That's cool. That's great. Triple H is out of the picture. Vince is out of the picture. You're the golden boy. So go back to being heel, because you as a face being the golden boy is trash. Because the golden boys are always heel. Outside of like John Cena, but then he did that for the kids. Like that was the PG era. Like you had to paint him as Superman, basically. So it's like, okay, and he had the build of like someone that was like larger than life. Seth Rollins doesn't have that build. Like they can try the whole CrossFit Jesus thing all they want to. Like he just has a naturally heelish look. Like he's what Shawn Michaels was, really. He's Triple H's character in Shawn Michaels' body. And it's like that's just how it is. Like if you're gonna look for someone that's gonna be, the second coming of Triple H, you just built Roman Reigns wrong, because he's a spitting image physically of Triple H.
Well,
he just doesn't.
Here's a funny thing though. Like I'm looking at all these matches, I'm looking at everything going on, and I'm thinking like this is starting to remind me of 80s wrestling when I was like 10 years old and watching it. And then I'm sitting like, crap. The Attitude Era had a lot to do with Vince Russo. As much as people were saying it didn't, it's starting to seem like he really did have a lot to do with it than what people think. Because of the fact, if you look at the matches now, and then you look at matches in the 80s, almost exactly the same way. Scripted out. Storylines are almost the same. There's like no continuity. You have wrestler A fighting wrestler B, he's over, and then boom, wrestler C comes in and he's the wrestler A for dropping the cookie. For for no stupid reason, or a few just happens and you don't know why. It just happens.
Well,
I'm
one of
looking
the
at
other things, from
Go ahead.
what I understand, they also had during the Attitude Era, they had. I don't remember exactly what his position was. I want to say he was like a screenwriter or something that was employed with the company, basically to help them keep continuity together. They don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So you
But they
have
are
a whole lot
hiring.
of
It is listed. They are hiring for anyone
yeah,
who's
but
interested. They are hiring.
how much is that good dude going to get nerfed though? Because
Yeah.
no, they're hire they can hire whoever the hell they want to as long as Vince McMahon is still choking everything that's coming out. It's like nothing is going to make any sense.
No, all that person's gonna do is just take notes. Okay, this is that. Oh, and then they'll say, well, you can't do that because like 2 weeks ago this happened. So you gotta keep continuity. No, fuck you. We're gonna do it this way. It's how it's gonna go. So if Vince wants to do something some way, he's gonna do it. He doesn't care about if it follows the storyline or not. Because it's just funnier. This gets me chuckling. Oh, you know, it's and that's how it was in the 80s. You know, that's how it was in the 80s. You had no storyline. You wrestler A fought wrestler B, then it was over. Wrestler C came in for whatever reason, fought wrestler A. And they had a feud. There was
it's
not much story.
It's sad because it feels like at this point we're at a standstill until October when AEW comes on, and it's like, okay, we have to put all our efforts, all the fans that aren't enjoying this style, I guess, of structure, have to kind of hope and pray that AEW gets off to such a good start that becomes the show to go to if you don't like this other product consistently on regular TV.
As well as hope and pray that AEW gets off to such a good start that WWE has no choice but to improve the quality of their product.
I mean, again, the only way to hurt Vince is in his pockets. And ratings aren't helping. Wrestlers complaining aren't helping.
The ratings will help. The ratings will help sooner or later because you have all these company sponsors paying all this money for TV time for commercials. And then if the ratings keep dropping, it's like, well, I'm paying you all this money and your ratings are going to again. And then also remember, Fox has a loophole where if the ratings fall below a certain point, they can just kill the deal.
Yeah. I think it's already below that point, honestly. I think they needed it to be above 3 million.
The other thing is
2 something.
Oh,
the other thing is what's really that they also need to pay attention to is the fact that their pockets are kind of sort of already getting hit. You look at your ticket sales for stuff like Raw and for SmackDown and for a pay-per-view you're putting out, and you have a total of 6,000 people in an 18,000 seat arena, to the point where you got people posting pictures on social media of the curtains that you guys have up. And we were in the middle of the stomping grounds talking to each other and everything, and we're just like, I'm sitting up there joking the entire time, like, I see what they're doing with the hard cam. I see what they're doing. They're sitting up there trying to hide it. Now they showed, part of it, and you could see there were people over there. So I'm like, all right, I stand corrected. There are people over there, but you look at the pictures, you have massive sections blocked off because of the fact that they couldn't sell enough tickets. They were legitimately on Monday giving tickets away because they could not be sold.
No, they were doing 2 for 1. They were doing 4 ticket deals. They were doing whatever they could to sell. I mean, they got to a point you could buy 4 tickets for the price of 2 or 1 almost. Like they literally were trying to make any money possible. Just to sell tickets. Now, that's just stomping. I mean, what happens if you have like one of your big 4 that has to sell?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm waiting.
That may happen. That may happen.
I'm waiting.
It's more likely to happen next year once AEW gets on TV.
Not only that, here's your one right now. Survivor Series.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it with SummerSlam just for 2 reasons. One, because AEW isn't like a TV thing yet. Granted, you got All Out happening in the same month, but they're not happening on the same weekend. Kind of sort of like how you have that crazy weekend where you have AEW All Out, you have NXT UK's Takeover, and you have a New Japan show happening all on the same day. There's
And I
nothing
think
going.
they just scheduled Evolve. Evolve 10 is supposed to be airing that weekend on the network now because now they're basically collaborating with Evolve fully now, to a point where like they're putting back NXT talent in. Like there's an NXT title match at Evolve with Akira Tozawa and Adam Cole.
Yeah, even though, like I said, what I'm
you okay over there, Paul?
Like,
the desperation, bro. I just can't believe the desperation.
Yeah, so what you're gonna get in this situation is, because of the fact that SummerSlam is in Toronto this year, you're not gonna run into the problem of bad ticket sales. Toronto fans go out there and they support. Canadians are just that way when it comes to the WWE. But your true test is going to be, like I said, your big four true test is going to be Survivor Series. Survivor Series off the bat isn't a it's a big four, but it's a big four to me in name only because nothing really happens in Survivor Series.
It's because they don't do what they used to do. Like Survivor Series isn't Survivor Series anymore.
Right.
Like it used to be the end of a tournament.
You have like some Survivor Series matches and stuff like that, but you right now you have this situation where SmackDown is, Raw light. It's not really even a thing anymore. So it's just a matter of what are you going to have in a situation like that? Are you going to have you still going to have your title versus title matches and stuff like that, or are you going to go out there and put on an actual show? So you have they have an opportunity to actually start off strong in this newer era of everything where they can actually, just go out there and put their mark out there. But at the same time, you also have the opportunity to fall flat on your face and not be able to get up because of the fact that you're going out there and, like I said, AEW is going to be, they're going to be picking up steam at that point just because of the fact they're coming off of All Out and their TV deal is starting up. So AEW is going to be hot. AEW is going to be hot at that point. But what are we going to be looking at Survivor Series if, in fact, the WWE doesn't turn it around and start putting out a product that's actually worth people actually going out there spending $200, $300, $400, up to $1,500 for tickets and stuff for? Are we going to be looking at the exact same situation like we had with Stomping Grounds, where now you're at a big four and you're tarping off a good fifth of the arena because of the fact that there's no people over there?
Yeah. I mean, and it's a very valid question. And then again, they kind of got rid of what works and they've tried to do too many new things. Like if you're struggling for ratings right now and it's like, why not bring back the King of the Ring tournament?
Well, here's the best part.
I want it.
Here's the best part. I just looked it up. Survivor Series. It's in Illinois.
Oh God!
It's in Rosemont, Illinois.
Oh
the Allstate Arena.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, they set themselves up. That's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
It's not. Chicago is AEW.
Yeah.
Chicago
through and through.
It's through and through AEW. They got the plaque on everything. They will support AEW no matter what.
Yeah.
They set themselves up bad. They have to put on pretty much if they want to succeed with Survivor Series after AEW is up and running, and if AEW is successful when they come out, they need to put on a match from top to bottom that will impress everybody.
They can't because that's CM Punk country.
Build the card.
That's CM Punk country, though.
That's another thing too. So
I mean, CM Punk country, like
there's like they already got two things going against them. The only thing they can hope for is that AEW does not have a good start. That's the only thing they can hope for right now.
Here's another one.
Trouble.
Here's another one for you. Your next big four after Survivor Series. Let's say Survivor Series, you got a bad showing out there or something like that. Survivor Series isn't, the best pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the Royal Rumble. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the Royal Rumble is one of those pay-per-views that people really look forward to because it's the kickoff of WrestleMania season.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, WWE got it in their mind, and I honestly don't mind it myself or whatever, but they're going to start running the Royal Rumble out of these baseball stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
This next Royal Rumble is going to be in Houston at Minute Maid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Minute Maid, if I remember correctly, 35, 40, maybe 50,000 seat stadium. How's it going to look when you sell 6,000 tickets?
Yeah.
You want to talk about hitting somebody's pocket?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of the stadium thing for Royal Rumble, only because Royal Rumble is such a like the pictures that you remember Royal Rumble, the iconic shots are the fans engulfing the entrance, almost like framing the entrance, and then you hear like the loudness of them counting. Like you hear the counting. Are you gonna get that now in a stadium?
Well, it depends on
and then
where.
Now you have, and then too, you have these long entrance halls. Like you have these long entrance ramps where these people now have to take up 3 or 4 or 5 of those minutes just getting to the ring because the ramp is so long. So you're killing the amount of time they get to build in the ring, and then the amount of time before the next person comes up. Mm-hmm. So it's going to just be a lot of that. Like as soon as you're ready to as soon as this person gets some momentum going, then it's 5, 4, 3, and then you're going to have all these little BS eliminations like you had at the other Royal Rumble, where it's you can't keep track of all the people that are getting eliminated because 3 or 4 people are getting eliminated in sloppy eliminations. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that kind of killed it. The point is that you get the build up, and then this person goes, the commentator comments, and then this person goes, it's the build up. Then this person goes, oh my gosh, the build up, and then the person comes out, and the commentators are hyping it, and it keeps building until the end. Can you do that in a baseball stadium? I don't think you can.
What they did a pretty decent job at out there in Arizona this year. It's just a matter of you had this built-in hype with Becky. So I don't know how much of that was Becky so much as it was, or how much of it was just, the fans out in Arizona were just hype.
Nah, it was Becky.
I don't know.
It was Becky. They were chanting Becky the whole night. It was Becky.
On top of the fact that everybody on top of the fact that even though everybody knew, then everybody was pissed off that he didn't bring out the demon for it. You had Balor versus Lesnar, which is a freaking banger of a match.
Yeah, sure. And it was one of those situations where could Finn Balor get back to that form of when he was Universal Champion and he got that pop and he got that win? That was when he first got called up and he was the new guy in town and he was coming off that hot NXT run. They've killed it. There's nobody like that right now. The only person I could possibly see getting a crazy kind of reaction would be Adam Cole at this point.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
so there's that guy. They still kind of had that guy in their hip pocket, but it's again Adam Cole's already been in the Royal Rumble, so it's not even like it's the first time. The guy that they could use, and I think that they may do it this year because they need it. They need it and they need it bad. That might be when they debut Velveteen Dream. Because that's the kind of punch in the throat or like the pre-WrestleMania, if you're gonna jumpstart WrestleMania season, that's the kind of electricity you're gonna need. And I think that's why you see Velveteen slow build now, because I think he's gonna end up not winning the title because I think now it's at a point where Velveteen probably will not be the NXT champion because there's too many guys that they're trying to build up, and then with Adam Cole being the champion and Johnny Gargano already had been champion, et cetera, Vince is gonna pull the plug before you can get the payoff of Velveteen.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna be the guy that's gonna. I know, Paul. It hurts me too. It kills me inside to see the writing on the wall for him.
Like
the only positive is that he is so green, but now everything you're starting to see it with him. Everything's starting to click, and he's starting to build out that repertoire.
I mean,
and right when he's a finished product, and right when he's gonna be poised to be the NXT champion, is when he's gonna get pulled.
It also doesn't help that he's still going around with the call me up for shit.
I think he's doing that on purpose. I think he's doing it on purpose.
I haven't heard him say it in a while, so I mean, no. I don't know.
I think he's probably doing it on purpose. I think Tripp's like, you know what, do it. Say you wanted to call up, because then you won't get called up, so keep you down here to punish you.
Triple H is an evil genius, so like that, I wouldn't put it past him.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't put it past him.
Like Triple H is trying to hold on to everybody he can, because literally the only person from NXT that's like his baby, that's been like his crop, outside of like since Kevin Owens really, is Ricochet's win. Because truth be told, how is it that Ricochet won a main card title before Sami Zayn?
Oh,
how, Sway? Because they're not.
No.
He's not happy with Sami because of the fact that as soon as he came out, that one match, he throws his arm up, freaking throws out his arm with the shoulder. Then he's like,
"Yo,
son, you're hurt. You're telling me you get hurt just like coming up and popping the arm up, basically like you know."
So he messed around. He got himself the Finn Balor treatment.
Yeah, basically. Because think about it, Finn just now got another title. When we all know Finn should have been Seth and Finn doing the Austin and the Austin Triple H or the Austin Rock or the Rock. Like Seth, Finn, and like AJ Styles should have been doing that Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold round robin thing with the title months ago. And you can even throw in Roman Reigns, who I don't even know who he would even signify in the Attitude Era. Like Roman Reigns is such a. It's not even the fact that he's bad or good. He's just kind of there. Like I don't really know what his character is, because they've made it really campy. So I don't really know what his character is anymore. Like, why are you still wearing the bulletproof vest and all that? And like,
why
you're
are
not
you still coming
anymore?
out with Shield's music?
Yeah, why are you still coming out with like the Shield's music? Why are you still doing like this whole like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, like click click boom, I'm a SWAT guy, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, he needs a repackage, and I think
he does.
He needs a power move like a power bomb or a jackknife power bomb.
He used to do it, and I don't know what happened. Like he used to do a jackknife sit out power bomb, but I think it's just because it took so long and it didn't look right on him. Like it just didn't feel right with him. It never did. And it just kind of sucks that every iteration of like the FU or the F5 is already taken, because he would look amazing doing that FU Death Valley driver kind of situation.
Yeah.
He would be dope doing that, but it's already taken. So like the Samoan drop is kind of like, okay, like that's cute. But like the spear and the Superman punch is like, because like you have to give they killed the Superman punch, because he had to punch the living bejesus out of Brock. I don't know how many times. He's had to like use it multiple times during a match, where it's like it's not even like a cool move anymore. Like it's not like I'm gonna hit you. Plus the camera work is so terrible that you've seen him like miss people's faces and then just sell it. Like it's
on Becky Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just like, bro, we know you're not punching him. Like, he's literally done Superman punches with, like, inches away from dude's face, where it's just this, and then you see the guy fall. And it's like, a la Jinder Mahal.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but it is Jinder Mahal.
He could have took a punch in the face, my guy. Like he definitely could have took a punch in the face. Like they didn't need to fake that. Like you could have took that L and took that hit, bro. For real.
You know what that reminds me of, though? Everybody knows I'm a freaking rock stan, so I kind of sort of remember promos and stuff that he's done. The Rock cut a promo one time, and he was just like, "If I hit you, I'm going to kill you. If I miss, the wind from behind the punch is going to give you pneumonia, and you're going to die anyway." I think that's what happened with Jinder Mahal with that.
I mean, Jinder Mahal basically did die, you know. Like he literally was like, "You were here to secure us the Saudi Arabia deal. Now your job is done." And it's deal. Like it's kind of the India deal. I think it kind of had something to do with the Saudi Arabia deal too. Like, let's keep it a buck. You got a guy with a turban. Actually, like they were definitely like.
There's actually something with that as well. From what I was hearing earlier last week, the WWE is actually trying to move away from Europe or the UK as its secondary market and make India its secondary market. So I don't know what exactly their plan is when it comes to that. I don't really see how that
they have a higher population, so they would have a higher if they can find a way to get people into the product and they can find a cheap way to distribute it, the sheer volume would make up for the monetary loss. I mean, if the logic makes sense, but it's one of those things where because the UK has such a storied history in wrestling, it's not smart. It's just not smart.
Wait, Benny, did they say this or like what did that report say?
This is something that I heard from I believe it was Cultaholic, and you're talking about a company, not a company, but they a wrestling news site that's based in the UK. So to me, I'm like, I can't.
They would hear it more.
They would be the ones that would hear it before anybody else.
Yeah. I heard something different from Wrestle Talk.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually put it out there for Wrestle. So Wrestle Talk does a lot of, and that's another thing that I'm like real heavily involved in. Wrestle Talk is one of those clickbait type places.
Yeah,
I listen to Wrestle Talk because Wrestle Talk is funny as hell. But Cultaholic, when they come out, like I said, and I believe this was Cultaholic. I have to go back and actually double check, but I know it was either them or What Culture that came out saying that WWE was actually trying to transition and create a base in India to be their number 2 base behind the United States.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about it this way. What other wrestling company is in India? Like what independent company, what cult, like the only Indian culture of wrestling has been cultivated by WWE. So I mean they would have essentially like they would be the company to break into that market and kind of cultivate it, because the second biggest market for wrestling is probably Japan. They're not breaking in there. China, there's a Japan connection, and then there's the UK connection. They're not breaking in there, really. They're not making any headway anyway. The UK, they're definitely not breaking, because when Vince's mistake is when he let go of all those international guys, all of them went back home to the UK and they created their own thing. So like you basically are the author of your own demise in terms of the UK. The only reason why NXT UK is even there is because a lot of those guys just want to get into the WWE umbrella. When now they're realizing that like Vince is basically trying to buy up all the smaller promotions in the UK to try and lessen competition before it got, really strong. That's why they took all their top stars.
Mm-hmm.
But like even in NXT UK, like a lot of their top stars aren't being used.
No, because
it's the same thing.
And then they got screwed because they thought they were gonna have it where they can do the NXT UK once the recordings are over. They can go back to independent to the indies and do whatever they can until next recording. But what I heard from Wrestle Talk, what they were saying was that the reason why WWE shifted over to India more was because they screwed up themselves with Sky Sports and WWE Network. What happened was when they were recording shows that were supposed to air on Sky Sports, they were releasing it on WWE Network first. so it was screwing
Yeah.
up the viewership for Sky Sports. And then what happened was they went from Sky Sports to what did they
Yeah,
sign
to
on
the other one. B1 Sports, something like that.
BT Sport. So
Yeah.
they went from a company that had 8 million viewers down to 2. And then AEW signed with ITV4, which has like over 40 million, I think it is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they screwed themselves with the whole Sky Sports deal because of the WWE network. When they were putting out shows, they were airing it out on WWE network before they were coming out on Sky Sports. They were ruining their deal there. So they were very sour grapes right there with Sky Sports. So I guess at that point they decided to shift more into India. I don't think it was more of this is what we want. It's more of like we screwed up in UK and yeah, we'll just take advantage of India because there's nothing there.
And two, it's funny to say that like stars can't move around. I've not heard a lot about the NXT UK Women's title picture since like that whole thing was announced. But I do follow their champion Toni Storm, and all I see her doing is indie promotions. And the title, in terms of like face value, is everywhere. Like I see the title in all these promotions. Like the title is being promoted everywhere in terms of notoriety. Like even more than the NXT UK men's title. Like,
that's probably why they let it to the indies.
Yeah, because Toni Storm is a megastar and she's only 20, 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Like she is you want to talk about blockbuster? Like they have her under the umbrella, but like if they were to ever bring her to like the US, like I remember the pop she got when she went to the Mae Young Classic. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like you also have to wait for girls like Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox and like all their actual talented wrestlers, not to be mean, but like all their top flight talent, it's all hurt. Especially in the women's division, it's all hurt. Like they're all hurt. And that's kind of the sad part because this is not like, oh, you're gonna be out 6 months. Like they're out with like 9 months to like 12 months, 18-month injuries for some strange reason. And I can't figure it out why. And I think honestly AEW may be onto something where they're like, it's the schedule, it's the road schedule, it's the fact that these guys they can't, because it's like even with professional athletes, they have time to take care of their body. They have the health, the staff and the trainers to make sure that they're right before they perform. WWE doesn't have that. It's like you do the match, you get hit, you take the bumps, you go to the trainer. Okay, the trainer checks you out, you're good. You're in a car on the road, and it's like your body can't recover that way. They have to basically do like TV dinner meals to eat healthy. They don't get the massage treatments, they don't get the acupuncture and chiropractic. They don't get all that stuff, so they're gonna get hurt.
On top of the fact that they're not being asked to fly back from Saudi Arabia and then do a show the very next night.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like that's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing, and they're not doing tours where they're like, oh, we're gonna go to one country in Europe, and then the next week we're gonna go to another country in Europe, and then we're gonna fly to Japan, and then we're gonna fly you back for a match in Santa Fe or San Jose the next week because we have to do Raw. And it's like, at least NXT has a formula where it's like, okay, well, our top guys are being overused, so let's put on a regular NXT show and have a couple of appearances from our mid-card champions, a la promos, and let's just showcase the lower talent. That's not working. That doesn't work frequently, and that we actually want to build, and let's take a show and dedicate it to building our lower sector and our mid-card so that the top card doesn't have to do everything. And it's like, I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like
they'll have the NXT on those house shows. They'll have like the top guys there for like signing autographs and pictures, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, and then you have some in the back that you can actually see if you see them, that you can look at them. Because I went to one, and then the guys that are wrestling are the lower ones. You're saying the lower ones, the ones to build up or in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
kind of put on the show there, here and there. I remember seeing Enzo and Cass like before they were like in the middle of transition there.
Yeah.
The Revival was there. Like I guess they just got there. Juice Robinson was there. This is how far back I'm talking about. Who else was there?
I mean, even now, when they were repackaging Damian Priest, as he is known now, when he was Punishment Martinez, they were doing a lot of work with him on, and I saw a lot of promotions for him on house shows, and that's where he was wrestling. That's where he was getting used to the WWE style. And then they would show like little promos on TV, but you never really heard about him until now. He's starting to get pushed as like this Playboy character, which idiotic to me, but he's making it work. It's so stupid.
Here's the funny thing though. Have you seen him though? Have you seen the match and everything?
Yeah.
I saw it. Comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he like the same thing still? Like same everything. Like nothing changed for the intro.
Yep.
Like,
he's still doing the whole bow and arrow thing. He's still doing. The only difference is they're trying to build him through commentary, saying like he's the suave guy, he's the playboy, he's this, he's that. I'm like, no, he's not. You might as well just make him Gangrel. Like, why not just make him Gangrel? Like, make him the demon priest. That's like kind of a vampire. It's gimmicky, yes, but it works so much better than a playboy. Like, if you're gonna push a playboy, and I hate to say this, push Kona Reeves. Kona Reeves is a great heel. He still needs work on his wrestling, so keep giving Kona Reeves all these little BS matches until he finally starts winning. Like, build Kona Reeves, please.
You got to remember though, Jay, man, it's such good shit.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. Like,
here's the funny thing though. I mean, we're talking about AEW, we're talking about all this, and then we're talking about guys in NXT who's gonna move up. But now here we got the contract issues. Like, I was looking up the Revival, what their contract was going to look like. And the funny thing I found was they extended Dash Wilder 2 months. Just Dash Wilder alone. So pretty much if their contract ends in July of next year, Dash Wilder has to wait out another 2 months before he could actually leave. Talk about seeing the Revival even after they're done with them.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
Wow.
And it only doesn't because at that point, then it's like, all right, cool. You're not going to do that. We're going to sign one guy. We're going to take care of him. We're not going to have him wrestle. We're going to wait for the other guy to finish off. And then they can be the guys that you debut on TV. Because they're still doing it. They still would sign with AEW before the TV deal for I think it's October. They still would get them before the TV deal. So like you can still technically have one pay-per-view right before you introduce the weekly shows, and then have the Revival debut then and go after the Young Bucks. That's what everybody wants to see anyway.
Yeah.
You know? Like or you have them show up on NXT to go after the Gorillas, right? The Gorillas are NXT. I mean, not NXT. New Japan.
New Japan.
Or
Ring of Honor.
Or Ring of Honor. Like they could definitely do a one-off.
Yeah, because I think AEW screwed their relationship with Ring of Honor though. I think.
Wouldn't surprise me. But then again, you know, Ring of Honor is one of those companies where like they're Switzerland right now. Like they're gonna go with whoever kind of takes, you know, control at this point. Because they're ECW at this point. Like they can't do anything. They can't have a major impact on anything. Because they've been around forever and they've just kind of hung around.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go with who's the biggest dog in the fight. Yeah. Like so it's like even if they did tarnish their reputation, if AEW starts to be successful, they're gonna swallow their pride. And they don't even have enough horses to really say like, oh, Ring of Honor exclusive guys, here you go, WWE. This is what we're offering you. WWE gonna look at them like, all right, you can't do nothing with that. AEW gonna look at them like, all right, your guys gonna sign with us when their contracts run out anyway. Like, what do they have to stand on? Like,
yeah,
Oh, Ring of Honor's mad. Okay, that's nice. She's the ugly girl in the group. Like, okay, Shelly's mad. Okay, Shelly looks like a horse. Who cares? Like, really, she's like Ring of Honor is the duff right now. Like, she's the dumb, ugly, fat friend. She's the duff. Like, nobody cares what Ring of Honor thinks. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So then we got Rusev, who again is talking about leaving.
Literally, if he and Lana can get to AEW, and Rusev can redo his entire character, and just go as Alexander or something, because they're probably gonna trademark Rusev, even though that's his freaking name. But
I don't think if that's his name, they can't trademark that.
WWE has done weirder shit. Look at Cody. Look at Cody. That's how I'm gonna put it. Look at Cody. You can't tell me they can't trademark your name. Look at Cody.
That's the last name though. But we're talking about the first name.
Okay, but Rusev is his last name.
Oh, his
name?
His first
name. It's Alexander Rusev.
Okay.
It's a long Russian thing. It's like Alexander Rusev.
I think that actually is a legit name too.
Yeah, it's like if they really want to be like that, if he's like, because again, he's rocking the boat, and he's been rocking the boat since John Cena came back. So Vince could definitely be petty. And Rusev is money in another company. He's Neville, basically. He's Neville level of success.
I want to see him go to New Japan, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but is he and Lana gonna move to New Japan? That's a part of the problem right now. It's because they have such a home base in Tennessee that Tennessee is close to Jacksonville. So it would be more likely that they would sign with AEW unless New Japan's California school and development company jumps off the way NXT has. That'd be the only way I can see him signing with New Japan.
They don't have kids. I mean, I could see that they want to stay in the States if they had kids, but they don't got kids.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, are they, because again, he's moved from his country to the U.S. He's married to Lana, who's from here, I believe. Is she going to want to leave? And if she don't want to leave, you already know, with that wife situation, if she ain't going nowhere, I don't see Rusev going nowhere.
No, but see,
I really don't see that.
Here's the question I was going to go to, was that I can see him being successful in there, but I don't think she has anything to provide and to do at NJPW.
No, she'd just be a valet.
Yeah, she would.
I don't think she has anything to do. She will have anything to do over there.
And I think for her,
she might actually be able to do something. Might find something for her where she starts as a valet and then works her way into actually wrestling in some matches.
Yeah, because I think they'll actually train her.
She would die over there.
What, in New Japan? Oh, no, they'd kill her. In New Japan, they kill her. I'm talking about AEW. AEW, she definitely get the proper... Because I think Brandy Rhodes would definitely kind of take her under her wing and kind of navigate that, because she wants to... I feel like Brandy Rhodes wants to be Stephanie McMahon, but better.
Yeah.
She wants, I'll give you that.
So she wants to be the Stephanie McMahon that is portrayed on TV.
Yeah.
Not the one that's actually the real one.
Yeah. Like she doesn't want to be CFO. She wants to be the culture. Like she wants to be the person that basically is responsible for grooming their women's revolution. Mm-hmm. In a sense. And I think that their actual women's revolution will actually be a revolution. So I think Lana being there would only benefit her, because she would have access to people that she doesn't have access to now, even though she would lose access to the heart, I think.
No, well, yeah, I don't think it matters, because I from what I've seen, like there's some kind of like bad blood between her and Nat, and I don't think it could be repaired. I think it's just like out of sight, out of mind, and she'll forget about it. And if she calls it for a favor, maybe
that's
she'll
true.
like it, do it for you. So I don't think that heart thing would be any concern. or any big deal, to be honest.
But I mean, to me, that's all the more reason for them to leave and for them to look at AEW, because I feel like with as talented as Rusev is and how much more he can still do and the range that he has, it would be smart for AEW to sign him. But I just don't think that Cody looks at him in that way. Like, I feel like Rusev would have to run the circuit a little bit before he gets signed. Like, Shawn Spears looks like a guy who we all knew he was talented. We all knew he should have been at least U.S. Intercontinental Champion 2 or 3 times over in WWE. He was underused, underappreciated, highly. But Shawn Spears, Ty Dillinger, was very much a creation of his own device. Like, he wasn't a Vince. He wasn't a WWE creation. Rusev is very much a WWE creation. So can he swim in bigger waters is the question I think AEW would ask. Because if they just sign Rusev, then it's like, oh, you're just signing WWE guys that are just leaving. So anyone can jump ship. And they're not actually signing for talent and for push.
Yeah. And
that was one of the things that they wanted to make sure was understood, that they weren't just taking WWE cast-offs.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going around too now. From what I see, a couple of the comments here and there from people is, oh yeah, AEW signing WWE rejects or leftovers or this and that. They feel like they're doing the same thing as WCW, which they're not, because look at their roster from top to bottom. Majority of those wrestlers are indie wrestlers.
Yeah, majority of those guys are New Japan guys, though.
It's a combination of both. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, it's mostly indie and then the New Japan guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a handful of WWE guys, but I mean,
I don't even think it's a handful. Like, it's Jon Moxley, it's Shawn Spears. I guess Jericho. You can count Jericho and Dust, but then I can't even really say Jericho, because Jericho was an indie hit before he got to WCW. Like, he's more of a WCW creation than he is a WWE creation, because his name came from WCW. It exploded in WWE, but